In year 2009, the British physicist Stephen Hawking held a party for time travelers. The twist was he sent out the invites a year later. No guests showed up. Travel into the past is probably impossible. Even if it were possible, Hawking and others have argued that you could never travel back before the moment your time machine was built. But travel to the future? That's a different story. Of course, we all are time travelers as we are swept along in the current of time from past to future at a rate of 1 hour per hour. But like a river, the time flows at different speeds in different places. Science, as we know, it allows for several methods to take the fast track into the future. So let's check it out. What are the 5 best ways to travel time? Hey guys, I'm Ishan and you're watching Rebound Box, signing in. Number 5. This is the easiest and most practical way to get to the far future. Go really fast. According to Einstein's theory of special relativity, when you travel at speeds approaching the speed of light, time slows down for you relative to the outside world. This is not just a conjecture or thought experiment, it's been measured. Using twin atomic clocks, one flown in a jet aircraft and the other in stationary on Earth, physicists has shown that a flying clock ticks slower because of its speed. In the case of the aircraft, the effect is minuscule, but if you are in a spaceship traveling at 90% of the speed of light, you experience time passing about 2.6 times slower than it was back on Earth. The high speeds achieved through any human technology are probably the protons whizzing around the Large Hadron Collider at 99.99991% of the speed of light. Using special relativity, we can calculate 1 second for the proton is equivalent to 27 million seconds or about 11 months for us. Number 4. The next method is also inspired by Einstein. According to his theory of general relativity, the stronger gravity you feel, the slower time moves. As you get closer to the center of Earth, for example, the strength of gravity increases. Time runs slower for your feet than your head. Again, this effect has been measured. In 2010, physicists at the US National Institute of Standards and Technology (NIST) placed 2 atomic clocks on cells 133 cm above the other and measured the differences in their rate of ticking. The lower one ticked slower because it feels a slightly stronger gravity. To travel to the far future, all we need is a region of extremely strong gravity, such as a black hole. The closer you get to the event horizon, the slower time moves, but it's a risky business. Cross the boundary and you can never escape. And anyway, the effect is not that strong, so it's probably not worth the trip. Assuming you had the technology to travel the vast distances to reach a black hole, the time dilation through traveling would be far greater than any time dilation through orbiting the black hole itself. The situation described in the movie Interstellar, where 1 hour on a planet near a black hole is the equivalent of 7 years back on Earth, is so extreme as to be impossible in our universe, according to Kip Thorne, the movie's scientific advisor. Number 3. Another way to travel to the far future may be to slow your perceptions of time by slowing down or stopping your bodily processes and then restarting them later. Bacterial spores can live for millions of years in a state of suspended animation until the right conditions of temperature, moisture, food kick-start their metabolism again. Some mammals such as bears and squirrels can slow down their metabolism during hibernation, dramatically reducing their cells' requirement for food and oxygen. Could humans ever do the same? Though completely stopping a metabolism is probably far beyond our current technology, some scientists are working towards achieving inducing a short-term hibernation state lasting at least a few hours. This might just enough time to get a person through a medical emergency, such as a cardiac arrest, before they can reach the hospital. In 2005, American scientists demonstrated a way to slow the metabolism of mice which do not hibernate by exposing them to minute doses of hydrogen sulfide, which binds to the same cell receptor as oxygen. The core body temperature of the mice dropped to 13 degrees Celsius and metabolism decreased tenfold. After 6 hours, the mice could be reanimated without ill effects. Unfortunately, similar experiments on sheep and pigs were not successful, suggesting the method might not work for the larger animal. Another method, which induces a hypothermic hibernation by replacing the blood with a cold saline solution, has worked on pigs and is currently undergoing human clinical trials in Pittsburgh. Number 2. General relativity also allows for the possibility for shortcuts through spacetime, known as wormholes, which might be able to bridge distances of billion light years or more, or different points in time. Many physicists, including Stephen Hawking, believe wormholes are constantly popping in and out of existence at the quantum scale, far smaller than atoms. The trick would be to capture one and inflate it to human scales, a feat that would require a huge amount of energy, but which might just be possible in theory. Attempts to prove this either way have failed, ultimately because of the incompatibility between general relativity and quantum mechanics. But before just getting into the number one, let's just recheck what we could do for real time travel. Speed, go faster and faster. And then we got gravity. The bigger the gravity, the slower time. Hibernation, all you need is to sleep pretty long. No, don't die. And wormholes, easiest yet toughest method right now. Number 1. Superstrings. If superstrings exist, one with the diameter of a proton and 1.6 km long would weight as much as the entire planet Earth. If you can arrange to have two of these side by side and start orbiting the two strings in a figure 8 pattern through some very esoteric and complex mathematical operations, this would allow you to travel forward or even backward in time to transmit matter from point to point or travel to any point that you could calculate. The funny thing is the strings would have minimal gravity despite their mass as long as they have straight alignment. If they were formed into loops, they would possess the full gravity of our planet. However, no matter how intimidating the mathematics is, there's still no evidence that superstrings exist. They are still a theoretical construct to explain some phenomena that we don't completely understand yet. That's all for today's video, guys. I was really excited to make this particular video and I hope you enjoyed equally. Leave a like and comment, that will be really helpful. Gonna catch you guys later. Until then, signing out.